You know, contrary to popular belief, it takes three to tango. You, your honey, and a good teacher who will demonstrate how it's done. Our special guest today is both a teacher and a student. Gabriella Condrea teaches Argentine Tango and at the same time remains a student of life. She's about to dance into your heart. Gabriella, welcome to Spirit 105.3. Where did you fall in love with the tango?
Well, like most love affairs, it happened when I least expected it.
Yep.
I was just traveling around South America, and, Buenos Aires, some fellow tourists were going out to dance tango. It was not on my list, but I thought, why not? When in Rome, and it was love at first sight.
So now with TangoStride, you're teaching tango to people who have movement issues, right? So tell us about how you got started doing that.
Yes, so when I started learning tango, I'm also a teacher by trade, and so I was like, how do I explain this to people? And for me, it really made sense. It's two people walking as one. So you have then four legs to work with. And over the years, people just, I don't know if there was some like bat signal in the air or something, but people just kind of showed up one by one, not related to each other in any way, but with movement issues. Somebody with a cane, somebody else who had some slight balance issues from a stroke, then somebody who had suffered a stroke and was in a wheelchair, just showed up at my tango classes. And so I thought, okay, this four-legged thing, maybe we can use this to help support their weaker, if they have a weaker side, or even both legs. Some of our students now, we officially started the program in 2016, and now some of our students are even working on just standing stronger.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really amazing. They're so resilient.
Which of your students has inspired you the most? Can you pick one?
Oh, gosh. That's like asking, I feel like they're my little ducklings, I can't do that. But each in their own way, they push past their challenges. And for a lot of them, even just getting up out of their chair, a lot of our students come in wheelchairs, and they spend a lot of time in those wheelchairs. And just standing up can be really a challenge. And for some of them, they were very near death. They were told that they might not survive their stroke, or we also have people with MS, Parkinson's, which is degenerative, so sometimes it can feel like if you've lost some mobility, maybe you can't get that back, and you just kind of, are going to just keep going downhill in your mobility. But we've had people at least maintain or even regain some mobility. So they each inspire me in different ways, and they inspire each other. So amazing.
That is awesome. With this group of people, is it easier to get them to leave their inhibitions at the door than your other students?
Actually, it's interesting that you say that. And I do tell my TangoStride students, my walking program students, that because a lot of them, they all need some support to walk, it can be easier to get them to rely on a partner to support them because they need it. But with the general public, oftentimes one of the biggest challenges is letting somebody help us,
Yes.
And so they do have that advantage in some ways. They understand what it means to rely on each other. Also, we're not just like holding them up or something like that. It's a two-way street. It does take two to tango. And I feel like it's really empowering for them, but I'm asking them to support me as well.
Wow. That expression, that's what was floating up in my mind even before you said it. We've all heard that it takes two to tango. Does learning the tango ever improve a relationship? Because I could see that happening.
That's a great question. I think that it can highlight what is going on in a relationship. And sometimes I've seen it really highlight some challenges for people. But also over the years, having seen that, it's really inspired me to teach in a way that we really focus on building the connection. And so that way it's a lot less of just memorize the moves, and then somebody can be wrong, and there's a lot of drama that can happen there.
Yeah.
It's more about how do we support each other so that each role is beneficial to the whole.
It's just fascinating. Gabriella, Steve and I will both tell you that we can't dance. And I bet you hear that a lot. What do you say to someone, whether they're mobile or immobile, when they say those words to you?
Oh, my goodness. I love that. And I have heard that so many times. Well, I would say, first of all, I'm not like trying to convince everybody to dance. So we could just like breathe a sigh of relief there.
That actually is a sigh of relief.
But my goal has been to make it accessible to as many people as possible. And I would say two things. One, if you can walk, then you can dance tango because it's a walking-based dance. And unlike some of the other ballroom dances or even the Latin dances where there's a set rhythm that you kind of have to follow, tango is very forgiving in that way. So there are lots of ways to interpret the music that work with the music, and that's a big stress for a lot of people. They're like, my feet, the music, my partner, it's a lot to coordinate. But also, now I can say, even if you can just stand, you can dance tango.
Wow.
And so I have had people come after, hearing about our walking program. I've had people who don't have a challenge with their walking come and say, well, if you can, work with people who are barely standing, maybe you can even teach me.
So inspiring.
Is there a tango face that people put on? I picture somebody dancing the tango. I picture a very serious expression on their face. Is that something you teach too, like the attitude?
I love that. You guys are a lot of fun.
Thank you.
With. Actually, so the tango face, some people do make this face that looks very serious. I like to say it looks focused. But there's a guy who, his name was Tete Rusconi, and he's passed away, but there are videos of him dancing and talking about tango. And one thing that really stuck with me that I loved, he said, I don't understand why people dance tango and they look like they just swallowed a lemon. And he's like, you're floating across the dance floor and, among the clouds. What's there not to be joyful about? So it's not required to look like you just swallowed a lemon. It's not required to have a really serious expression. Laughing's allowed, but there's a lot of focus because it's a body language. So you're trying to feel what your partner is inviting you to do, and then you're trying to feel your partner's response to that invitation. And so there is a lot of focus, and people, their expression might reflect that. But it's fun.
Do you bring your own rose? Because aren't you supposed to put like a rose in your mouth?
Yes, you are supposed to put a rose in your mouth. That's what I thought, too. When I first started dancing, that wasn't really on my list. Like, I didn't bring a rose to Argentina, so I don't think I can go tango, I've never seen anybody dance with a rose in their teeth, but it is fun. Actually, no, I'll change that. I have seen one person dance with a rose in her teeth, and that's my student, Erin, and she is hilarious. She was on this recent news story on Cairo 7, and she said that, give me the rose in the teeth. And we're rebuilding our walking program and, trying to spread the word and also getting all my ducks back, because for some people they took some time with COVID and being careful about that and everything. So when her first class back, we were at the Columbia City Theater, and she's just working on standing. She wasn't sure she'd be able to stand, and she is totally rocking it. And then one of the folks with the Columbia City Theater hands her a rose. So she had to put it in her teeth and show off that she could stand and even dance with her arms, let go and dance with her arms.
Wow.
Oh, that's beautiful. Gabriella Condrea. She's an author, a speaker, a teacher, and a connector. I like that word. Thank you for catching the spirit and being with us on Spirit 105.3.
What a pleasure. Thank you.